My name is Gavin Evans, and this time on Gavin Recommends The Interpreter. This is a very different movie than my last recommendation, and that's what I'm going for. It's a political thriller made in 2005, and it's a really good one at that. And I feel like this is a genre that doesn't get the attention it deserves. I would love to have more political thrillers made these days. This movie is about a UN interpreter who overhears a possible threat in a foreign language. And that's a great premise, and it does lend itself to some great moments. The best part of this movie is definitely Nicole Kidman's character and Sean Penn's character and their relationship as it progresses throughout the movie, because you're Sean Penn in this situation. You don't know if you can trust her. You don't know if she's actually heard what she says she heard. You don't know what her intent is, what her end goal is, and you have all these questions. And as the movie progresses, you start to lose trust in her, and reasonably so. And it's nice to kind of figure out the clues to really piece together. Speaking of Nicole Kidman and Sean Penn, they're both really good in this movie. Nicole Kidman is one of the best actresses for a reason, and she does elevate this entire movie. There's also one scene where the two talk about her culture and where she comes from, and she's telling this story about how if you want revenge on someone, where she comes from, they capture the guy, they then drown him, and you can either choose to save him or to drown him. If you choose to save him, he's alive, but you've moved past your need for revenge. But if you decide to let him drown, then that pain will eat you up for the rest of your days. And he may be gone, but you will never move on. And I really like that story. It kind of feels like a fable of sorts, and we don't really get those kind of stories here. And it does give you some insight into their character. There's two scenes in this movie that really stand out. There's one scene where Nicole Kidman is in her apartment, and she starts to realize that something is missing, and then she looks out the window, and there's a guy standing there, and this isn't a horror movie, but that felt like a horror movie moment. It was really intense and really creepy, and I wish they actually allowed that moment to marinate a bit over, because then before we know it, it's just gone. The guy's gone, she's okay, everyone's at her house now, and it's just like, oh, that was really creepy, I wanted more of that. And then another moment is this whole sequence on a bus, and if you stop to think about this sequence, lots of people don't behave in ways that they should have. But that said, it's still a really intense scene. It cuts back between these people on the bus and these people looking for this guy in an apartment, and they discover some stuff, and you're watching people figure it out, and what's going to happen next, what's going to happen on this bus. It's a really well done sequence that Sidney Pollack directs really well. However, I will say that this movie isn't great. This movie, as the story progresses, it starts to dive deeper and deeper into Nicole Kidman's past, and the truth is, I just didn't care. I wish this movie took the great premise it had and made it more straightforward instead of diving into all these other random things that you could argue add something to the character, but I never found them as interesting as the main plot, and I do feel like by the end of the movie, it does get overly convoluted. That said, this is still an episode of Gavin Recommends, so I'm still clearly recommending it. It's not great, it's not going to blow your mind, but for a political thriller, it's a very decent one at that, and I quite enjoy it. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 6.5 out of 10. If you've seen this movie, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Did I speak too fast? Do I need an interpreter? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and stay tuned for some more videos soon. Gavin out.